Fantastics, and we are live. So, good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Welcome to today's Red Glove Chat number 30 with Melissa Harvey.
Yes.
The crowd goes wild. If this is your first time joining into a Red Glove Chat, well, we have 29 other. This is number 30. If this is your very first time joining in, basically what Red Glove Chat is, it's conversation between entrepreneurs where we talk story about life as an entrepreneur because there are ups and downs. Sometimes there's things that go sideways. And no story is ever the same because we each have a different journey and we help people in different ways. We have different adventures. And also, if this is your first time and you don't know who I am, oh, well, now you're going to find out. My name is Marianne Ruth. Some people call me Coach M. I am a coach, speaker, and serial entrepreneur, as well as best-selling author. And I help you to release your inner badass. And I have a badass woman with me today because yeah, Miss Melissa Harvey, who is originally from New York, and then we met when she moved out here to the Big Island of Hawaii. We met, I believe it was through BNI that we actually met,
Yes.
where you joined
Yes.
our chapter and your business exploded to where then you had a
Huge.
wait
Yeah.
list where people were like 3 months before they could get a massage.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
So yeah, I mean, BNI was an integral part of my business getting started here. I don't think I'd be where I am today without BNI, honestly.
it definitely has a huge impact on business all around. And so
Yeah.
you moved out here in January 2016. So it was kind of like, pooh, start the new year, 2016, leaving New
Yeah.
York when it's kind of cold in January in New York, I would say.
Yeah.
Coming
Yeah.
to the nice, warm island where
Yeah.
there
It
are
definitely,
beaches that you spend your days off every time.
yeah. For the first like 2 months of being here, I thought it was melting. So coming out of New York weather, so it was
Yeah.
nice,
Ooh, yeah, from
right?
Burr to Sunshine every day.
Yeah.
And you were very quick at opening your office where you specialize in orthopedic medical massage, which is
Yes.
different from a frou-frou, have a massage by the pool.
Right. Right.
There's a
Yeah.
time and place for different types of massages.
There is. There is. And every therapist you run into is going to have a different style that they work on. My style is orthopedic based. So it's more medical treatment, more rehab work. But yeah,
Yeah. And then after that, you started the MyoPro Institute and you started that in
I did.
2018. So that was
I did.
just over
Yes.
2 years.
Yeah.
And that's been quite a journey because you started to offer advanced training seminars to massage therapists that were already licensed. And then
Right.
you totally branched out because, okay, just before COVID happened, just before the shutdown, you did something huge.
Yeah. So, I don't know if it was the timing definitely wasn't the most stellar business move as far as timing is concerned. But when I first moved to the island, probably about a year after I was here, I had heard of a local massage school that was up for sale. So I went and looked at it. And at the time, I'm just like, I don't know. I don't think so. And then fast forward a couple years later, and, it came up again where the owner reached out to me. And so I went over and I looked at it, and, they had like a year's left on their lease, and the space that they were currently in was definitely too small for the vision that I had of what I wanted my school to be. So I figured, well, if I get it, I got a year to work on it, build up the classes, and then I'll go to a larger space.
And you did.
So, yeah. So, yeah. And then I bought the business 2 weeks before shutdown.
Mm.
So, yeah. And so, that put a huge obstacle in that. Um, as in, we came back and we reopened in June, but the therapist that I had working there before shutdown failed to come back. I think a lot of people were making more money on unemployment
Oh,
instead of coming back. So, it was kind of when I first got it, probably the first 8 months, it was hard. It was hard. You know, I had one student left out of the class of four when I first got to school. And so I had that one ride or die student who's actually still with me. She's in student clinic right now. So she's awesome. Love her to death. But yeah, it's been an adventure. Let's say that.
yeah, to say the least.
Yeah.
Because yes,
Yeah.
I actually remember when that whole transition took place to where it was so exciting. You
I
just
was
took over the business.
Oh my God, I was so excited. And, because I've always had, back in New York, I taught at a massage school for about 10 years. And I always had an idea in my head that I wanted my own massage school. Because, there's certain things you pick and choose from other places. Maybe some of the things they did, you know, wouldn't work for the way you wanted to run things. So I always had in my head that I wanted my own massage school. But coming here, it's a lot different as far as training is concerned for a massage therapist. So it's a lot cheaper here, a lot quicker here. Back in New York, it's a 1,000-hour program, but it's also $16,000. Where you compare a 10-week program for a level one, that's only 1,800.
Mm.
So, and the more I thought of it, the more I was like, well, I said, maybe I should just do continuing ed for the therapists that are graduating already that might not have had this in their curriculum at their school. So that's why I started the MyoPro Institute and
Yeah.
in 2018. So I did a 10-month course of continuing ed, and we did that for 2019. I started doing it in 2020, and then COVID happened. So we restarted. When did we restart? I think October. I restarted some of the classes, but yeah. So
Yeah, that was definitely like the because
yeah,
you were just getting started and everything
yeah.
just it shifted for everybody.
Well,
The
I kind of feel that the island does that to you every once in a while. Like it tests you and it puts obstacles in your path to see how bad you really want it.
mm,
Like when I first moved here, I definitely had the rug pulled out from underneath me. I mean, I ran out of money. Um, a huge blow to my ego was I had to ask my mom for money, and I've never had to do that ever. And so, that really made me dig in, and having her say, well, maybe this is just the universe's way of saying that you don't belong there. And I'm like, oh, it's probably the best thing you could have said to me. So I dug in, and I was fortunate enough to meet Stephanie Beebe through Facebook, actually. She came in for a massage, and she's the one that actually kind of pushed me into the BNI direction. So, it's because of her that I'm still here. So shout out, Stephanie. Thank you.
whoop, yeah, yeah, and Stephanie's here. She's here on island as well, and
Yeah.
she's
Yeah.
blossoming in her business. It's
Yes.
beautiful to see all the businesses blossoming. And yes, you're so right about the island. Basically,
Yeah.
it's either you get voted off the island or
Right. Yeah.
like on Survivor. And here it's the entire world that just got the throat at.
Right. Right. Right.
And people had a choice. Do they have a strong why of what they're doing, or do
Right.
they, yeah. So a lot of choices, a lot of testing, and if they have a strong why, then it's the asking yourself, okay, this is really what I want to do. How do I make it happen in spite of?
Right.
And
Exactly.
that's
You
what
have
you
to
did.
make it work. There's, I mean, every day, nothing is going to be perfect. There's always going to be chinks in the armor here and there. And you have to be willing to not necessarily change the original vision that you had, but maybe realize that there may be different paths instead of that straight way you want to go so quickly. You may need to take, a goat path here or there.
Yeah, yeah. And what happened with some people is that they took that time out, basically,
Yeah.
that that came into effect. They took some of that time out to reflect
Yeah.
on themselves and to discover what their passion actually was. To where for some
Yeah.
people it was that reset button where they were in a space where everything sucked, hated their job,
Yeah.
and pause button happens, reflection time, and guess what? There are other solutions.
Yeah. Yeah.
And for you, through
Definitely.
that pause time of around the world, you were able to find solutions to make your vision a reality with the expanding of your school to where you have your level one, your level two, level one and level two massages,
Right.
uh, to where so basically you have expanded from what you first started when you came out here teaching continuing education. Now you have, from building the foundation,
Right. Right.
you now are able to also offer student massages and professional massages right there at your location.
Yeah. Yeah. So, our new location, I was able to, move both my private office, the level one, level two training, and my continued ed all in one space. So, before this, I was renting space for my private office. I had the school space. And then I was also, before that in 2019, I was renting conference rooms each month
Yeah, over at Sweet
for,
Possibilities.
yeah, exactly. Yep, with Jocelyn.
Yeah,
And, I mean, that was great. It was huge. There was a huge room and it worked amazing. But, I always wanted the business, you always want your business to profit. And you have to look at what you have coming out of your pocket. You have to look at those expenses. And,
yeah,
even though moving to a larger space is definitely more of an expense for me in the long run, it's going to pay off. I know it
yeah.
will.
Yeah, the impact that you're going to be able to make
Yeah.
by providing that space for those that want to learn,
Right.
and to where at the same time there's space in there where they can provide massage even after they're done getting their license.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. So
And
I have, right now I have like one room that we use for the student clinic, which is separated into um, two spaces for the students to work in. And then I have another room that's actually set up for licensed massage therapists to come in and do professional massages. So I have somebody currently working with me. Actually, she was a student of mine back in New York. So she's been doing massage for 15, 16 years, I think.
oh wow.
So I'm blessed that, she's decided to, right now she's here for, one day a week. But hopefully we'll get her here more. She's a
Right.
lead therapist up at Fairmont right now. So,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Wow. So I'm starting to wonder, like, back in time, did you
Mhm.
always know that you wanted to be a massage therapist and teach massage and to help people this way?
No, 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 no. My first professional massage was the massage I was required to get along with my application for massage school. That was my first professional massage. So, you know, I never I didn't come out of the womb thinking that I was going to help people heal and, do rehab work. I've had a variety of careers in the past. I was a medical assistant for 4 orthopedic surgeons. I was a personal trainer. I worked in a factory at a gun manufacturing plant. I've bartended. Actually, I bartended to put myself through massage school. So I bartended at night and went to school during the day. So, but it was when, I got into massage school that I said, you know what, this is it. This is what I'm meant to be doing. And I remember probably about 3 years prior to that, I had gone to the little town that I lived in had a psychic fair. And I remember I went and I had my palm read. And this woman told me that she goes, "You're working harder, not smarter." And at the time I was working at a factory, 80 hours a week putting it in.
Yeah.
And she goes, "I see you doing something with your hands. Your hands are going to be your career." And at that time I did I made like little tchotchke arts and crafts things that I would sell, like door swags and wreaths and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh God, I'm going to be huge, making all these crafts. And then when I went to massage school, I'm like, oh my God, this is what she meant. So, and like I said, that was like 3 years before massage school. So, I just think it's funny, when I moved out here, I'm very science based. So, I want to see it.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and
you're very science based, but at the same
yeah,
time, you know how to explain in plain English because I still
yes.
have it in my brain. I still have that visual of you showing us with an orange.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. My fascia.
Yeah. Yeah. With the peeling of the orange and all that little white
Right.
stuff. And yeah.
Yeah. And that's, I think that's what makes, not just me, but I think that's what makes a really good teacher. I mean, you have to look at what you're teaching and make sure that you're reaching every single person in the room because everybody learns either at a different pace or differently. Some are visual, some are tactile. So, when you're bringing something across, you should bring it across 3 or 4 different ways. So that was one of the ways, instead of me just standing up and flapping my lip and reading a PowerPoint to somebody, that, they can actually get their hands on it and see and equate that orange with the system in the body, the fascial system in the body. So,
Yeah. That was a brilliant presentation.
well, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Thank
we
you.
were we were over in the Island CPR building when you did
Yes.
the presentation.
Yeah. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's when we did the piriformis syndrome as well.
I remember the one talking about the butt.
Yes, the ghetto booty.
Yeah.
Yes. Ah, the good old days.
Uh, the stories if the walls could talk.
Yeah, right?
Maybe it's a good thing they don't. Yeah. Wow. So,
Yeah.
okay. See, for some reason, I never thought of you as doing anything else but massage. So there, I just
Oh,
learned something new that you worked in a
yeah.
factory and that
Yeah.
you did bartending and
Yeah.
working with the orthopedic as an assistant there.
Yeah.
So you had a variety of experiences to where you've done both the W-2 world and the W-9 world.
Yes, exactly. And when I first started doing massage, I was working with I worked like 5 or 6 different places, out calls and stuff like that for like the first year, and then or the first couple of years, and then I started in 2004. I started working at a chiropractic clinic with 4 chiropractors, and they were actually pushing me to go to chiropractic school. And so that was something that I was thinking about. I also kicked around the idea of going for a physical therapy school and OT. So, but I stuck with this.
Yeah.
A lot of the work that I do is equated with, PT work. So, anything soft tissue related.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that you stuck with it. And when somebody is thinking about becoming a massage therapist, what kind of things should they be thinking about, or maybe questions they should ask themselves if that would be something that's a good fit for them?
Right. So, not every program is going to be a good fit for somebody. They have to understand and look at, why they want to get into doing massage in the first place. For me, I think it was more of, my injuries that I had in the past. So I've had knee injuries, shoulder injuries, whiplash, and massage and chiropractic has helped with them. So, those are the areas that I kind of specialize in. And I see a lot of patients that have, those ailments. But I think, if you have to decide on whether you want to go into business for yourself, whether you want to be an independent contractor, or whether you want to be an employee. Do you want to work at a spa? Do you want to have your own office and work alongside chiropractors, PTs, or your standalone office? And what kind of training do you want? Right? So the program that I offer is definitely more medical based, more orthopedic massage based. It's a little bit longer program. So the programs here on island are around 570 hours, and mine is 690. So I wanted to make sure that, anybody graduating from the program had enough hours under their belt that they can just go and sit for the nationals. Because for nationals, you need 650 hours of training. So if you do a 570 training, then you have to go ahead and get more hours under your belt before you could sit for that nationals. So, I think I would say that they have to look at why they're getting into it in the first place. If they just want to work at a resort, then I think a basic massage therapy training would be fine. If they want to get into more treatment based, then they need to look for a more treatment based program.
Yeah, and it sounds that that's what you offer, the treatment based, to where you not only it's the knowledge that you provide, but you also have the experience,
right?
Both from a recipient and a giver standpoint.
Right. So, one of the taglines for my school is, never stop learning. And, we should never think that we know it all. I don't. And if somebody asks me a question and I don't know the answer, I'm going to tell you, oh, I don't know. Let me go Google it. Let me go see. Let me research it and get back to you. Because I think every day should be a learning experience for you. I think we should be open to new ways of doing things. I think it's important to note that starting next year, Hawaii has finally gotten to the point where they're going to be requiring continuing ed.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
that's awesome.
So that's huge, because, all of this time you get your license and you can just sit on it. People only took continuing ed because they wanted to, not because they had to. And not that I want somebody taking my classes because they have to take them. But I think that's what makes a good therapist. I think it makes a good therapist to learn new things, to kind of come out of your comfort zone, learn something new, and bring something new to the table for your patients. So I'm excited about that.
Yeah. Well, that
Yeah.
was one of those things to where there's so many other professions
Yeah.
where it is required to
Yeah.
have some level of continuing education. And I was baffled as to why massage
Yes.
therapists do not.
That's, I mean, I still keep my New York license. So for New York, you have to do 36 hours of continuing credit every 3-year registration period. So Hawaii's is a 2-year registration period. So they're only requiring 12 hours, which, I mean, one of my weekend seminars is a 14-hour course. So you'd have that done one weekend class, and you'd be done for 2 years. Um, so what I'm hoping is, I'm currently working on the paperwork to get it nationally accredited. So it does have those continuing ed credits that people can take. My goal is to get them archived through video that people out of state can actually purchase those and get that training as well. And then further down the road, I would like to offer a 5-day intensive, um, kind of like a stay and learn kind of thing,
Yeah, like a
where
retreat, a
right, like a
learning
retreat.
retreat. Come to
Exactly.
Hawaii, get your credits. This is what you'll learn.
Exactly. Exactly.
Nice,
Yeah, yeah.
nice.
If I
Wow.
did a 5-day, that would be, that'd be a 36 to a 40-hour class. And, somebody from New York could come for 5 to 7 days and get all of their continuing ed in at that whole entire time.
And then you would
Yeah,
also show them the best beaches to go to.
exactly.
Yeah. Wow. So, well, I'm excited about that. That the continuing
Yeah.
education is going to be something that is required because
Yes.
that
Yes.
will up level
Yes.
the what is being provided, because there are
Mm-hmm.
some to where once they get their license, then they got their license, they're good to go, and what they provide may not necessarily be the best that
Right.
the best that they can even provide, to where it's like I got
Exactly.
my license and yeah, I'm
Right. Right.
yeah.
And I think that's what happens. That's what happens when there aren't when there isn't that requirement. I mean, granted, you are going to have those few people that I have been blessed to have as my students taking the continuing ed that take it upon themselves because they want to learn more, right? So, and that's basically where the my students for the continuing ed has been coming. Other therapists that I actually had 2 therapists sign up for classes after coming in and getting a massage from my student.
Ah, nice,
So yeah, yeah. So
nice.
I mean, it's getting there, and I haven't really advertised it. Everything's really been word of mouth. I haven't really pushed for advertising. I'm looking to start a new level 1 probably in January, and I'll start the continued ed classes up again in probably February or March. And by that time, I'm hoping all my accreditation has gone through. So,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's the submit and wait.
Yeah. And, COVID did not help anything.
Yeah, no, it did
You
not.
know,
Like, for
paperwork
example,
was a little slow. Everything runs on Hawaii time, but COVID really put yeah.
yeah, it definitely a lot of things have been affected. Like even the book that I have coming out, I was expecting to have a proof copy in my hands already by now.
Yeah.
And there
Yeah.
has been movement, but now it's in process. I'm like, okay, okay, okay. I want that hard copy so we can
Yeah.
move forward.
It's like a hurry up and wait kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So yeah.
yeah, definitely. So you
Yeah.
were talking about the business development of keeping up to date on the new techniques that get developed,
Yes.
or just sometimes is just keeping your techniques like
Mm-hmm.
fine tuned, just
Right.
like a I was going to say an axer, but somebody that cuts trees will sharpen the axe. A
Yes.
tree cutter, they
Yeah,
will
yeah.
keep their tools sharp. That's what you do as a massage therapist, and
I,
they're
I
providing.
mean, in my opinion, I think you have to. I think you
Yeah,
have to because, you want, you always want to be bringing something to the table for your patients. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
uh, there's always new things to learn. There could be a time when what you normally do isn't helping your patient. It's not helping them rehab through whatever they're trying to work through. So, it would behoove you to learn new things, to bring something new to the table.
yeah.
Um, and I'm fortunate that my patients are very open to everything that I learned. So I remember back in 2018 when I had told that I was taking my Graston class, and
Oh, is that with the little tool thingy?
yes, yeah. So it's a implement or an instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization. So basically, it's with surgical steel tools. So it can be superficial, it can be deep, but it primarily works fascia and scar tissue. So it can be used for, new injuries, old injuries. But when my patient found that, they were like, "Oh my God, you can practice on me." So I'm grateful for that.
Nice. So that's
Yeah.
all on the business development side. What about the personal development side for self? And like for me, I love reading books to where I do some reading on a daily basis.
Mhm.
And what about you? What do you recommend for personal development?
Oh, a lot of any free time that I have, um, I try to get to the ocean. And, mostly any books that I read are trade books. So they're the massage magazines, their blogs, their podcasts that I listen to. Um, I follow a podcast that comes out of Canada, which actually they just had me on
Oh,
last month. I was on, and we were on for a little over an hour, just talking story. And but I mean, they're great. It's two RMTs and a microphone is the podcast. But
wow.
I actually received a therapist signing up for one of my classes from there. She's here in Kona and was listening to the podcast and heard me on the podcast and signed up for one of my classes. So
Sweet.
yeah,
That
yeah.
is
But I
is it
mean,
available online where people can listen to it online?
yeah, yeah. I can actually I can put the link to it in the comments
Sounds good.
on here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's on YouTube. So
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, cool. Yeah, we can link to it so that people can go and listen to you and to your sharing.
yeah.
And I know that we've been on for over 30 minutes actually.
Oh,
Not seeing the time pass away. That's what happens when you just totally engrossed, into the
right, right.
conversation.
You get
So
me flapping my lip, and you
we're
can't
just
stop me.
that's good. That's good. Before we wrap up though, let's go over one little question that I like to ask everyone in
Sure.
wrapping up is for those that are looking to be entrepreneurs for the first time,
Yes.
whether it's yeah, for those that are looking to become an entrepreneur and they're either just getting started or they're looking into it,
Mhm.
possibly to where it's in the massage field, what would be a golden nugget to share with them?
Follow your passion. Make sure that what you're going to be doing, you're passionate about,
Hmm.
um, and don't listen to anybody else. If it's something you want to do it. Um, don't listen to the naysayers. It's not their life; it's yours. And I mean, if you're passionate about the business that you want to start, um, every day, it's not work. You know, So,
Yeah.
yeah, just be passionate about it.
I love that because
Yeah.
yes, there have been some adventures that I have taken on, some enterprises that I have taken on where there have been those naysayers and like,
Hmm.
why would you even want to do that? And
Yeah.
or that's something that's never going to work in this town, or to where I even had a very successful brick and mortar store at one point. And to this day, I still have people asking, when are you going to reopen? It's like, I closed it. I changed. Yeah. Wow. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining me
Oh,
today,
thanks for
Miss
having me. I
Melissa.
appreciate it.
Yeah, and for folks that would like to find out more about classes and your institute, they can go to your website, myoproinstitute.com.
Yes, they can.
Right
Yeah.
there on the screen, and they can be updated on upcoming classes, whether it's
Yes.
for brand new or for continuing education, and to stay tuned for the announcements of those weekend sessions, and also in
Yeah.
the future those like week long sessions slash retreats where people can
Yep.
come from the mainland, come to the island, get their continuing education because yours is available for national,
Yes.
and they can see the island at the same time. So it could be
Right.
a, a vacation that's tax deductible.
Exactly right.
They have to talk to their tax
Isn't,
preparer for that
isn't that what
on
everybody wants?
what is and what isn't, because I'm not a tax person. But
What
if
can
the
I write
objective
off?
of the trip is to come for education, I know that at least a portion of it is going to be deductible. What portion, I don't know,
Right.
but talk to your accountant for that.
Right. Exactly.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you for joining in, and do share the golden nuggets that you get from today. You never know who you will touch by sharing this broadcast. It could
Exactly.
change their life. Maybe there's a question that is answered in here that they've been wondering about, and you could be the one that opens that gift for them of sharing where the answer is. So until next time, everybody, who we
Aloha.
go.